hear Jeff Olson talking about here, number 10, be here, make a commitment to yourself. It's easy to quit, but quitters never win and winners never quit.
I still have this quote here. So it's crazy that some people feel that 2 to 5 years in a business like Miura is a long time to get rich. Some people think they're gonna come in 3 months and get rich. But they don't feel that 40 years at a job is too long to stay broke. Right? So think about that, you know, and they're like, I want to come in here and make, replace my income in like, 30 days. I'm like, well, how long did it take you to do your schooling? How long did it take you to, right? And then you were like a junior and maybe you needed extra training. How many years did that take you just to get in your profession and build your way out? 3 years, 5 years, some people 10 years, some people aren't there yet. And you think you're going to come and do this, something you've never done before in a new industry in 3 or 6 months. You're going to take those skills and you're going to transfer them, which is awesome, but you got to learn what we do. And that's the 10 core. This is our rhythm, and many of you have had many successes. You have lots of skills and talents. And I say, man, use those. But you also have to be in a learn coachable mode where, you're looking at the people that are coming in here, what they're doing and following it 100%. And what we mean by that, so I'm a baker, I'm Irish, can you tell by the white skin and freckles, and he's Italian, and so we're typically bakers, so what do? I follow ingredients to the T. So when I get Sil to help me out with baking, I'm like, hey, could you, do this? He's like, well, how much? I'm like, this spoon. This exact spoon measured to here. He takes the spoon and dumps it. I'm like, no. I said, it has to be measured to here. That's what bakers do. We follow to a T. And if I have one ingredient that I don't put in, too much or too little, or decide, I'm just going to switch it up for something else, what do you think is going to happen? It ain't going to turn out. Guys, this is our recipe right here. This is a success formula. It's been proven over and over again. We got millionaires in this company. We got many people in this room that are, making good money, owning cars and stuff like that. And so versus the cook over here, he just kind of throws stuff in, and then I get his mom calling me, oh, Judy, it's so easy. Just do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And I'm just like, pick the phone, please. I'm like, so how much? Is that like a spoonful, a handful?
She's learning.
That's
We compliment each other. We compliment each other.
I'm not a baker,
No, I'm not either.
But
No.
for this business, you definitely, this is like, if you're buying a franchise, they give you the rules and regulations of the franchise, and this is exactly what we do. New brand partner training, we already talked about that, okay? Committing to 2 a day, it seems like a simple concept. Doesn't mean getting 2 samples out a day, but if you can get 2 samples out a day, you're going to be on fire. And I'm going to talk later about dashes. Okay?
Oh yeah,
We'll talk about the dashes and stuff, but sharing the products, how many people feel that we're salespeople? And that's what you have to believe that you're not. We truly are sharing, and we share things all the time with people. And we truly share with people. Yes, we do sell a product, okay, let's be upfront. But we share our experience. I mean, I posted a picture yesterday, and I had this girl call me, she says, okay, and she used the product 3 or 4 years ago. She goes, okay, I'm tired of looking at this stuff, I need to start using this stuff again. Because she used it and she liked it. But I just shared a picture, I didn't tell her to call me, but she decided to call, and she says, okay, I'm going to get that advanced skincare set. Okay? Because she had a couple of things that she wanted to address. But share pictures. But I never felt for a minute that I was selling it. And if she doesn't like it, she can send it back. I mean, try going to the spa. Try going to Nordstrom's or wherever and bringing something back. They're going to laugh at you for something like that. We can, and that's why we stand behind what we do. But learn to share the information and be proud of it. If you don't have a story about something, use someone else's story. Use someone else's picture. Because a picture paints 1,000 words. Attending weekly market parties, guys, and more importantly, let's get back to RRPs. Getting people into our house, because people are comfortable. We did one at Mary's house the other night. We were probably 20 some odd people there the other night, okay? Some people that have been inactive for a while, and some guests, and obviously the brand partners. But get back to inviting people to your house and keep it to an hour to an hour and 15, okay? Because if you tell somebody an hour and then you haven't even started after an hour, then you're doing a disservice and they're never going to come. But if you tell people, listen, come, we're going to have a little spa treatment, maybe put an eye patch, do the eye serum or whatever you want to do. Well, let's get back to that because people are comfortable in our home. And that's how the biggest teams are being built right now, is by having RRPs in their home. And success is had because you're not walking into a hotel and saying, ooh, It's kind of weird. You walk into somebody's house, it's normal to go to somebody's house. So let's just get back into that. If you haven't done one for a while, schedule one. Okay? And then if you don't feel comfortable closing out the RFP, have somebody there to be able to come in by Zoom or by call, whatever's going to work for you. So really, really important to, the Real Results Party, attending weekly training, okay? Our rhythm is going to be changing, we'll talk about that later. Attending monthly regionals, okay? This is huge. How many people have got a cell phone? Okay? And what happens towards halfway during the day, towards the end of the day, for a cell phone? It dies. Ooh. And what do? We charge it. And how do we do that? We plug in. Okay, so how many people get rejection? You're stupid for doing your business. Whoops, you walked into the room. Sorry, you're not supposed to hear that word. He doesn't like that word. I shouldn't have used that word. I got caught. But we get zapped. And the regionals, the corporate calls, the videos are there to energize us. Okay, so this is why it's so important. And I know a lot of people say, well, it's the same information. It's not the same information. Because every time you hear a new person's got a different spin on something. And you might hear something 10 times, but maybe it's the 11th time that you go, that's what they meant. Okay, so it's really, really important to come, and we hope to share one concept with you that impacts you to move your business forward. Well, that's why attending events is really, really, really important. Corporate events. How many people went to India? I forgot to see earlier. Okay, awesome. Was that an amazing event? Awesome. Okay, guys, we're going to do this. 30 seconds. Tell me what you got from Indianapolis. 30 seconds.
26, 25.
Okay, who wants to go next? We'll go back to you.
Jill.
Oh, go ahead, Mary. So we'll come back to you. Sorry.
What I got was, my success is all about me and being coachable.
Absolutely. Are you ready?
A person that it says no, meaning that person never gonna help me to achieve my goal.
That's right. That's right. It's all for you.
Personal.
Who was next?
My
Yep.
thing that keeps on going through my head is when Anna said, Jesus couldn't please everybody, so what are you worried about?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that, and I use that with the 5-second rule.
Yeah, exactly. Who else was there? Shelley.
I was telling her the story on the way here about Shallon, talking about the girl put hashtag get a real job.
Yeah.
And you said, and it didn't bother her, the way something like that. You
Well,
said
it did
until-
bother her, but
Right, until later, but what I really took out of that is there were hundreds of comments on that post, and that was
That's
the
the
one
one,
she
yeah.
looked at. And
We find the negative, right?
yeah,
The one
and I
that's
told Betty the
negative.
crazy thing is, she's up there like, yeah, I got over it, but she's still talking about it.
Yeah.
So it really is a lesson to all of us, out of all those people. And I don't even love the ending that the person then came back and said, hey, great job. I love more that this person was judgmental and she was like, don't care, moving on.
Yeah.
Right.
Not part of her
Yeah.
fan club,
she doesn't put money on your table.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what? Here's an important rule. Never take advice from somebody you wouldn't trade places with. Never take advice from somebody you wouldn't trade places with. Yes.
The other thing that I got out of it is timing. I just had a message from a lady, I peeked at my phone. I have been after her, and she's tried the skincare set, and I say after her because I keep sending her messages. Sometimes she responds, sometimes she doesn't. Well, last night I posted another thing up for her on Friday. I think I need to try that. Yes.
No
So a
doesn't
lot
mean
of
no
times
forever.
it's just the timing for
Yeah.
people.
No doesn't mean no forever.
And don't give up on them.
How many ladies have been asked on a date more than one time? You said no the first 2 or 3 times, and then you finally said yes. It's tough to be a man. Okay, you gotta go through that rejection. Anyway, I don't know where that came from, but.
How many guys have asked 15 women out and gotten no's every time?
Anybody else? Jen?
So I obviously already shared a little bit about the win, and I had so many one-liners, but one of them that I really appreciated was Samantha and I had said that the same boiling water that hardens an egg softens a potato.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And
huge.
so, yeah, we all have to decide if we're gonna let the no's that come at us boil us and harden us, or boil us and soften us.
Yeah.
And,
No, that was so powerful.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
powerful.
Really awesome.
Anybody else that did, what did they share? All right, Judy, she's gonna share. Oh, actually, let me just finish this up right
Yeah.
here. Corporate events, guys. If you haven't, get yourself registered for Dallas. And you never know where the aha moment could be. It could be in the hallway talking to somebody. It could be hearing something from stage. It could be as you're walking out, you know, and you're mingling with the other people there. You never know where that magic moment's gonna be, but there will be a magic moment, an aha moment. So it's important that we say, if you haven't, commit to going to Dallas. And if you're worried about the money, we still got 6 months. Plan it out. Can you drive there? How much is it going to cost to fly? You know, can you share a room? Because you know, we don't go there to sleep. We have people that are 4, 5, 6. I mean, yes, we do sleep there, but you know what? It's not about being all by yourself. You know, and share a room. You know, share a bed with somebody if you want. You know, really, really important. Learn how to cut the cost down. That's important. Commit to personal development. We've talked enough about that today. Okay? Turn your driving time into university time. How many people have re-listened to that Jim Rome tape recently? Okay? Listen to that tape. I mean, that's our business. Okay? What comes after fall? It doesn't change. Okay? And personal development is really, really huge. So, you know, get into that and listen to the new Jeff CDs. If you don't have if you didn't get a new package, download it from your back office. I think it's an hour and a half, and we listen to it all the time because there's some great information in there. So turn your driving time into university and obviously reading, and then find a workout partner. Find somebody that will keep you accountable because it's about hitting your goals. So it's okay, Jen, don't worry about it, okay? You know, we need to have love and compassion, but we also need to be able to drive ourselves. Okay, Jen, I know that happened, let's move on, okay? Because you're better than that. Don't let that person affect you. So that's what the purpose of a workout partner is. Very, very short and sweet. Jess?
Justin and I give each other 2 minutes at the start of our chats to share like whatever's going on in life. And then, all right, 2 minutes is up, and then I get 2 minutes, and then we talk about our goals. And
Awesome. That's good. That's good.
I
Huge.
like that idea.
Judy's got something really good that I think you guys will enjoy.
So again, you know, many of you saying, well, I'm not where I want to be, or it's not going as fast as I want it to be. Well, what I'll challenge you to do is look at all those and say, am I actually doing them? Am I doing them being coachable? What am I not doing? Because it's what you're not doing, it's what you're doing, what you're not doing. And if you're doing all these and you're not where you want to be, then you need to get with your coach and say, hey, I'm doing all these. So what is it that, there might be a little tweaking that's required too. So something that's very visual is I always look at this as a 5-year plan when I talk to somebody. My New York Prize was 5 years. It took me 5 years to pay off. So my mindset is always that, an Olympic athlete, right? Think of yourself as an Olympic athlete. It's not going to happen tomorrow. And look at the sacrifices and the mundane. I mean, I'm sure they don't want to get up at the hour they have to do. I'm sure they don't have to eat all the foods that they have to eat consistently over 4 or 5 years. But it's like the slight edge. They do it because their goal is so big and so strong, right? And so just recently, I was looking at getting, what do you call it, deviated septum like 5 years ago, and it was so fun because I kind of started investigating it. It was something they said, okay, well, here's what you do, here's what you need to do with this surgery, and then it just kind of, it wasn't a priority, it was sort of a priority, but I said, we'll deal with it later kind of a thing. And I put it aside, and how hilarious, just the other day, I came across some of my notes. It was in 2014. Can you imagine? And I was like, 5 years already went by. Like, that's how fast 5 years go by. And so when I read this, I want you to think about this, because there's so many times in my life where I look at the time and I go, man, I've been thinking about this for 5 years and I've done nothing about it. Okay, so who are we lying to ourselves? So if we're really serious about something, just decide you're going to do it and do it. It may be ugly. You may not get there on a straight path. Trust me, there's still days where I'm like, oh, that was really bad. But I did it. Right? I did it because it's part of where I want to go. So this is something I call pick your heart. Okay, let's be honest. Is it a little mundane to do some of this stuff all the time? Yeah. 2 day. It's kind of boring. We're all alone at home. So pick your heart, feeling the pain of mastering the mundane, which is what we call the 10 commitments, or feel the pain, which is really the consequence. What would your life be like if you don't do what you say you're going to do? And here's some of the things that, if you fast forward 5 years and here's a feeling you have today, and you're saying, what if in 5 years, like I looked at that thing going, that was 5 years ago? What if, you're still working at that job that you hate, or you're wasting your time in that commute, you grind your teeth every morning going, I can't believe I'm still commuting to work, right? What about if you're in a toxic environment, you've been saying you've been going to get out for 5 years, and you're still there 5 years from now? Like, think of these things. How about, you know, we're not being valued or respected, whether it be in our work or, you know, in our personal environment? How about missing events with kids and family, right? Because I had to work, or I had to travel, or I had to, you know, I didn't have the money. It was so sad to me this summer, friends of Havens, and they were in basketball, said, hey, are they gonna go do the summer camp? She goes, I can't afford it. And I was like, I didn't know what those words meant, and I was like, I can't afford it, like you literally cannot afford it? Like, obviously she needs to look at the business, but it was that woman, I mean, I couldn't imagine that feeling for her to be able to say, I had to pick which kid to put in that camp this summer. That's a tough feeling. And imagine carrying that another 5 years and not having done anything about it. Like Jessica had that, but she did something about it. And now she's like that role model for her kids. You know, playing it small or safe. So sometimes I'm a very shy person. Sometimes I can play it really safe, or I can, you know, step out of my comfort zone and it's really ugly out there. But every time you step out, you grow and you develop as a person, right? What if you just play safe and say, oh, I don't really, Sylvia says that, I don't really need the big house. There's more bathrooms to wash. There's more cleaning to do. What are we doing? We're playing it safe and we're shrinking our goals, right? So we feel good about where we're at. Does that make sense? I don't need a second home, too complicated, right? How about feeling guilty to splurge on yourself? I hear that from many people. You know, once you have a family, it's like it's the kids, and you feel so guilty spending anything on yourself or getting your nails and your hair done, right? What about wanting to pay off those debts, you know, and wanting to save for retirement, the hope, the private education, wanting to retire. So you're like, hey, I'm going to have all this money sitting in the bank, and 5 years from now you look and it's like it's the same balance as it was 5 years ago. That's pain to me. That is painful. So I hope some of these are hitting home for some of you guys. Planning to take that real vacation. Sometimes we take those little cheap vacations. Get on one of those Euro trips. That's a 5-star trip, and you know you're not going to want to do anything cheap after that. It's like they are really amazing. Traveling a lot or doing shift work, juggling home and work life. What about running a business that's stressing you out? Many of you might be business owners too, and you're like, I'm so done with this. Like I am ready to sell it or move on. And 5 years from now. Yeah, how about asking a spouse or others for money? That's painful. Like when I remember a time when I wasn't working and I always have to ask for money or something. It was like, ooh, that was weird to me because I've always been, right, working and making my own money. It was like, I gotta share my money now too when I'm married. It's like, oh, I gotta share. How about mentally, physically, and emotionally being sober and out that you have nothing left for your loved ones? And many of us come home after our day, we got nothing left. You know, we got nothing left. So think about those things. So when you're thinking about this, think about the consequences. And we can post this if you guys want, because
Yes.
I want you to kind of emotionally embrace some of these that you're feeling now and say, in 5 years, I don't want to be feeling that same feeling. I want it gone, like Jessica, I want it gone. I want a new feeling. Now that RV is going to be on this list, right?
Right.
In 5 years from now, I want that RV. So, awesome.
All right, goals. You know, here's another thing that we have a hard time for because fear comes into our mind. We're scared to write our goals because we're scared to fail. Okay, we're scared to have success, whatever your fear might be. So, you know, it's important that we set ourselves up. But when we set ourselves up, we need to make sure that we've got the right mindset. We need to make sure that we've got the right mindset, that this is a win. You know, I was talking to somebody, I says, yeah, you know, I want to go to the gym 3 times a week. And they said, when's the last time you went to the gym? 2 years ago. And I go, you know what? Let's set a goal of going once a week.
That's right.
Set a win for myself. Go once a week. Then after you do that for a little while, let's set a goal of maybe 2 times a week. You know, exactly, you know, and reading that book and just, everything starts with 1. Everything starts with 1, but don't make it so overbearing for yourself that it's not going to happen. So I'm going to do a little exercise right now because I believe words have power. We heard Jen talk about that earlier. Somebody who's never seen me do the try example. You know, I need a volunteer up front. You didn't see me do that? No, you know this. You can't come up, okay? Because you know this. Somebody that's never seen me, Renee, you've never seen this. All right.
There you go.
All right, so what we're going to do is that, what do we do a lot in life? I'm going to try. I'm going to try. Has anybody ever said that before?
Yeah.
Okay? And unfortunately, that's not the right verbiage to have, okay? So what we're going to do is, you're going to tell me what one of your goals is. What's one of your goals?
To build an art studio.
Okay, awesome. So what I want you to do is I want you to take your thumb and your middle finger, and I want you to say, I'm going to try to build an art studio. I'm going to try to build it. And just repeat it. I'm going to see if I can separate your fingers.
I'm going to try to build an art studio. I'm going to try to build an art studio.
Okay, so Now what I want you to say is, I will build an art studio.
Will build
You notice the difference in the tone?
a will build a nice studio.
I was pulling hard there. She started laughing and she goes, but what happens is this, is that the mind is telling you that you will. And when you tell your mind that you will, there's a different set of connectors that happens in your brain that says that you're just gonna do it. For example, what is this right here? A cup. Now, I'm gonna try to pick it up. You can't try. You're either gonna do it or you're not.
Try some pop up.
Big round of applause. Thank you for coming up. Now I know a lot of you are saying, yeah, that's hogwash. I want to take 5 minutes right now. I want everybody to partner up, okay? And I want everybody, so it's the middle finger and the thumb, and I want you to use the word try for one of your goals, and then I want you to use the word I will for whatever that goal might be. And I want to just get some responses back to
Just two like
people.
that, yeah.
So let's pair up.